Super Mario Bros. Wonder was released on October 20th back in 2023. It was the first traditional 2D mainline Mario game since the new Super Mario Bros. Series, a series of games that were pretty good for their time, but unless if you are someone who grew up with them, there isn't really anything special about them. Don't get me wrong, all the games in the new series are solid platformers, but it felt like there was a lack of creativity and originality in each of these games, as they all had the same 8 main world themes and the 2D Mario formula was starting to feel quite stale. Enter in Super Mario Bros. Wonder, a game created by a much younger development team at Nintendo, and this was an opportunity for those developers to show their talents and introduce brand new creative ideas that aim to shake up the 2D Mario formula. This was a game I loved playing at the time of its release, but now that much time has passed, I've decided to revisit the game to see if it is still any good and to answer the question, is Super Mario Bros. Wonder still worth playing today? From the very beginning, Mario Wonder feels very different to any of the 2D Mario games that came before it. Instead of starting out in the Mushroom Kingdom, the game opens up with Mario and his friends taking their first steps into the Flower Kingdom. They are greeted by Prince Florian and some Poplins, which are the Flower Kingdom's version of Toads. Prince Florian is showing off the powers of one of the many Wonder Flowers scattered across the Flower Kingdom, until Bowser quickly comes along to nab it. See what I did there? Using the Wonder Flower's power, Bowser fuses with Prince Florian's castle to become a flying Bowser Castle, and then he flies off to spread chaos across the land and imprison every Poplin he comes across. So Mario's adventure begins to save the Poplins and to stop Bowser causing havoc across the Flower Kingdom. But Mario isn't the only character who is on this adventure. From the very start of the game, you get the choice to play as a wide range of different characters from the Mario universe. We of course have Mario, his brother Luigi, Princess Peach, Yellow Toad, Blue Toad, Toadette, and Princess Daisy, which is a nice inclusion to have as she hasn't been playable in a mainline Mario platformer before. These are the 7 regular characters, but there are also 5 additional characters that are known as the easy characters, which are 4 different coloured Yoshis and Nabbit. The difference between these two character groups is that easy characters are unable to use any power-ups in a stage, but they are completely immune to damage. The Yoshis only get stunned for a few seconds when getting hit, while Nabbit is completely unaffected by enemies and their projectiles. The Yoshis are also able to flutter jump and eat enemies, and when playing in co-op, another character can jump onto a Yoshi's back to ride him. It's pretty fun to ride around on a Yoshi when playing through the different levels in the game, although it does feel borderline abusive when riding a Yoshi when your character is in elephant form. That poor Yoshi is struggling. In total, we have 12 different playable characters in Mario Wonder, and it's one of the strongest character rosters we have ever seen in a mainline Mario game. But how fun is it to play through this game's levels? Mario Wonder's level design will feel familiar to anyone who has played a 2D Mario platformer before. You run normally from left to right while collecting coins, hitting blocks, going down pipes, defeating enemies, and you grab onto the flagpole at the end of a level. Mario Wonder's levels, however, are also filled with many different creative mechanics and ideas, and almost every level in the game will bring something new to the table. Most levels will start out by introducing something new to the player, and then later in the level, that initial idea will get expanded upon within crazy wacky ways once you find that level's Wonder Flower. Wonder Flowers appear in almost every level, and once you find one and activate its power, the flower can change or warp the world in many weird and fantastic ways. Pipes can come to life, you may start moving from a top-down perspective, or you might even make piranha plants start singing. Almost every level offers something unique, and even when levels reuse ideas, it's often done to create more challenging experiences in some of the game's later levels, and it never feels stale or repetitive when ideas are reused in this way. Every level in the game is a joy to play through, and something that helps to make these levels feel more fun are the new power-ups this game introduced into the series. Mario Wonder features 6 different power-ups in the game, 3 classic and 3 brand new ones. The returning power-ups are the Mushroom, Fire Flower, and Star. We are all familiar with these as they have pretty much been in every Mario game since the beginning. The more interesting power-ups I want to talk about are the 3 brand new ones, the Elephant Fruit, Bubble Flower, and Drill Mushroom. The Elephant Fruit is a power-up that will, well, turn your character into an elephant. I mean, what did you expect? In elephant's form, your character becomes much bigger and stronger, as you can easily break blocks and knock away enemies with your trunk. You are also able to store water in your trunk, and you are able to use that stored up water to save dehydrated plants, which can give you some extra coins and sometimes reveal secret hidden paths. The elephant power-up is one of the strangest power-ups I've seen in a Mario game for quite some time, but I do really like it, and it's really fun when you get to be in elephant form. The bubble flower is the second new power-up introduced in Mario Wonder, and it allows Mario to blow bubbles. Bubbles can capture enemies, transforming them into coins, and you are also able to use bubbles as platforms to gain a small jump boost. I remember not being so keen on the bubble flower at first, but after completing multiple playthroughs of the game, I think this is one of the best Mario power-ups we have ever got. The reason I say this is because using the bubbles as temporary platforms can help you either break or traverse through levels really quickly and take shortcuts that are not otherwise possible without this power-up. The bubble flower power-up is a speedrunner's dream, and it's a really fun power-up to use for anyone who loves to get through levels as quickly as possible. The final new power-up is the drill mushroom. This power-up allows you to burrow into the ground, and once drilled in, you can traverse through the ground safely, avoiding enemies. The drill mushroom can also be used to shatter crystals, and you can even drill into the ceiling and move through it if you want to. I do like this power-up a lot, but I don't think it's as strong as the elephant fruit and bubble flower. I think the drill mushroom is introduced a bit too late into the game, and because of that, the game doesn't get to explore the drill mushroom's full potential, and there's not many levels that are specifically designed around this power-up. Still a good power-up, but I wished we had some more levels that were able to utilise the drill mushroom's full capabilities. One new concept introduced into Mario Wonder is the badges system. Badges in Mario Wonder act as equipable accessories, and the types of badges you can get are split into 3 different categories. The first badge type are the action badges, which are badges that add an extra move to Mario's moveset. Mario can already run, jump, wall jump, spin, and ground pound through levels, but if you equip an action badge, you can potentially give Mario the ability to parachute with his cap or give him a grappling hook. The second type are boost badges, which grant you passive benefits such as being able to gain extra coins from defeating enemies, or you can gain a free safety bounce when you are about to fall into a death pit or into lava. These are useful badges to equip, although I didn't end up using them that much, and I'll explain why after we have gone through our final badge type, the expert badges. Expert badges usually grant you with an advanced skill, but also a negative effect. For example, one expert badge makes your character run super fast, and you are also able to do a jump while in midair, although the catch is you won't be able to stop dashing. Another makes you completely invisible, so enemies can't see you, but the only problem is that you won't be able to see your character either. Expert badges are designed for players who want a bit more of a challenge, and these badges completely change the way you approach levels, which helps add a ton of replayability to the game. Badges can be unlocked in a few different ways, but the most common way is by completing a badge challenge. Badge challenges act as small tutorial style levels to help you learn how to use each of the various badges and in what scenarios it is best to use certain badges in. These challenges are a great way to teach players about the badges, and they help break up the pacing between jumping from level to level. So that's everything about badges. But I did mention earlier that I wanted to talk about why I didn't use certain types of badges as much as others, such as the boost badges. Well, the reason for that is because unfortunately you are only able to equip one badge at a time. There is no way to mix and match with all the badges you have collected. You can only pick one to use at a time. I understand why you are limited to only equipping one badge, as if you equipped every single action and boost badge at the same time, you would become way too powerful and the game would be a breeze to get through. It would have been nice to let us equip 2, maybe 3, or 1 of each badge type at a time. This is why I never ended up taking advantage of any of the boost badges, as while they are useful, I much prefer to have an action or expert badge equipped that made the game feel more fun to play. One thing I am really impressed by is the amount of polish and attention to detail within this game. Previous 2D Mario games have all had very similar world themes, but Mario Wonder's levels and overworld themes feel visually distinct from all the games that came before it. Levels are really pretty and interesting to look at, and not only does the overworld and all the levels in the game look beautiful, all the animations for the characters and enemies were redone and are all brand new. I also find it really funny how enemies look absolutely terrified when you defeat their friends, and Goombas look so angry when they get stuck somewhere. So this game has an amazing character selection, fantastic levels, brilliant new power power-ups, a cool new badge system, and the game is utterly gorgeous. Is there anything even bad about this game? Well, not really, but I do want to point out a couple of things that could either be improved upon or things that could potentially turn players off from this game. One of those things is the overall difficulty of the game. Difficulty-wise, Mario Wonder stays mostly on the easy side. Every level will show you their difficulty ranking on the world map before entering them, ranging from 1 to 5 stars. Levels with different difficulties are spread out evenly across the game. The only exception is for 5-star levels, as most of these can only be found in Special World. Some of these 5-star levels can be surprisingly tough, especially the final few levels in the game. Those ones will really test your platforming skills. The game does increase in difficulty as you progress through the game's worlds, but with the exception of Special World, the game overall still remains pretty easy to get through, which may put off some players from the game, but I think for most of us, this isn't an issue at all. The only other weaker element I can think of in Mario Wonder are the game's bosses. There's not a whole lot of them here, and most of the boss fights are against Bowser Jr. The fights with him are all mechanically different, but it's a bit disappointing that we don't have unique bosses for each world. The final boss, however, is one of my favourite final bosses in a 2D Mario game, so that does make up for the amount of mid-boss fights leading up to it. And to be honest, the difficulty and the bosses are, in my opinion, the only weak points within this game. Everything else packaged into this game is fantastic, including all the stuff I haven't had a chance to mention yet in this video, such as the huge variety of new enemies to encounter, like the roller skating Koopas, the massive hippos, the melon piranha plants, and the blumps. There are a variety of different level types in the game to break up the game's pacing, such as break time levels and bonus levels. There are many secrets to find across the game, such as secret exits and levels. The game supports 4-player local co-op, and there's even an online mode where you can play through levels with friends using their real-time ghost data, but most importantly, you can buy collectible standees from the shop for each character in the game, including this cursed one of Nabbit being transformed into a Goomba. And that's pretty much everything this game has to offer. So has Super Mario Bros. Wonder stood the testament of time, and is it still worth playing today? Well, the answer to that question is obviously yes. Mario Wonder is a platformer that oozes creativity, and there's so many fresh ideas within here. The game doesn't do anything that is truly earth-shattering or genre-defining, but that doesn't matter, as 2D Mario has never felt better than this before. Mario Wonder is simply the best 2D Mario game in the series, and I've tried to avoid making the obvious pun throughout this entire video, but I have to say it. This game is wonderful.
Hello there! What a beautiful day!
Yeah, I completely forgot to talk about those little flower guys. Well, luckily for you, you can watch this video on the screen right now to find out my full thoughts about these talking flowers.
Bye-bye!